Dove devo scriverlo?
Sul tuo nome quando metti dentro.
Ah, capito. Vediamo se trovo dove.
All right, welcome everyone. We might give people a few more minutes to join.
Diverso dall'altra parte.
How are y'all doing this afternoon?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Ooh, we've still got people joining. So anyway, hope everyone is having a good December. And just as a reminder, 11 o'clock and 3 p.m. Pacific every day for you and or your team for any projects or how do I solution seeking. If you want to do, you can jump into the shared support session. This is the room number. So, and I also I like the idea of using this time to Joe joining. I think this is a cool idea to bring people on from around the industry, especially people that we're already working with or people that we'd like to work with or stuff we're working to announce and get them some time with all you guys and have that be probably a semi-regular thing. Okay, so let's see, Mike, Nick, you guys want to unmute and
Hello,
Hey everyone, this is Mike from CardTrader.
this is Nick.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. So are we waiting for someone else, or you think we can start maybe?
There's probably people that'll be rolling in. But yeah, absolutely. Let's get rolling.
Okay.
So I'll start just real quick by saying that the only way to really continue to add integrations and keep the network sync in a healthy enough state to allow that is because we've just been working on literally system refactoring, and we found some ways to radically improve the third-party sync engine. So, and then we just had another couple of, I don't want to say breakthrough, but a couple of good engineering improvements that are just going to keep that sync even more manageable and keep it in real time. So it's, you know, that's just what we always want. Got a couple more people joining. So that's what makes me excited to add more, because adding more and having that make the sync problems worse is not anything anybody wants. So yeah, okay, well with that, yeah, we think this is going to be very stable, fast, and have the sync be something processed very quickly. So and go right ahead. And I will also say that kudos to CardTrader for jumping into our new APIs and being able to really use them effectively to create a pretty seamless way to integrate. And for the help that Matt from our design team was to kind of smoothing that out.
Yeah, so CardTrader, I don't know if you guys had anything prepared or if we want to just start jumping in any like questions or concerns people might have.
Questions would be great. The
Okay.
main information is all available, so it's more about details. I can give an overview if you prefer.
All right. Looks like Toy Trove had something in the chat. So I'm thinking maybe, so it's not too chaotic, if you raise your hand and then we can call on you or type something into the chat and I can read it off. Toy Trove said, just wondering if there's a way to sell directly to the customer and not go through CardTrader Zero.
Absolutely. CardTrader Zero is optional. It's not by any means compulsory when you link your account to CardTrader. It's a service we provide that allows you to reach all of Europe and all of the world with just one domestic shipping. But yeah, of course, it's not by any means obligatory to pass through CardTrader Zero. We've actually seen that there have been direct orders already placed to CardTrader to CrystalCommerce sellers, and so it's active. How do you disable it? You just write us. We'll gladly disable it. It's not something we allow to enable because and disable directly by the users because we actually do some checks before allowing people inside CardTrader Zero, because we don't want random people just jumping in and then not shipping and causing problems.
Is there anything
just
just comes to my mind? Is there anything that we've exposed that would allow like a touchless vacation mode or anything like that?
Vacation mode is very easy to activate in your profile. You just go to settings. There's the vacation mode section, and you'll just switch vacation mode on. And at that point, your inventory is not visible by any users, except yourself, of course.
This is Quentin with Card House, Icarus Magic, and I was wondering, is there a way to sort the card list that we send in for CardTrader Zero with the foils in a certain position? We didn't find that option. I didn't know if that's something you were thinking about implementing.
I don't think it's actually possible at the moment. We have various sorting methods. Let me check quickly, but I don't think foil is one of them.
It wasn't. We sent our first order in today,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
So we've been very happy
Thank you
with
for-
the sync and everything. I think I may have missed it at the beginning. So we are looking to sync sealed products as well here soon.
Very good.
Are you
Seal
all
products are, excuse me?
Yeah, our sealed products are not syncing currently with CardTrader from Crystal. So
I don't think they have been implemented yet. The sync is not active yet. We have at the moment about 80% of the magic cards, and are going to be adding everything we can as soon as possible. We expect at least magic to be completed by the end of the month, and most likely flesh and blood, and perhaps even we'll be able to squeeze Digimon in. We're starting with these two because they're the most prominent in our market. But we're
Pokemon?
absolutely adding Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! As soon as possible, and then somewhat minor games like Vanguard and Dragon Ball Z. And what else do we have at the moment? Oh yeah, Force of Will maybe. And Final Fantasy.
I think one clarification we could make for that roadmap is that as we do a singles sync, we would also do the sealed product as well.
Well, it's actually pretty much the same thing, one compared to the other. They're just blueprints that need to be matched. We are working on having the matches function correctly. There are always minor things that you have to tweak in order to avoid items falling into the wrong category. For example, the oversized cards, we have to be very careful not to switch them with regular versions because
We have a full
always have the
inventory
same
of
name.
full inventory of 6x9 cards. We need to get everybody to sync. Maybe we need to make it get everybody to actually inventory all of those they have sitting in their back room.
absolutely, and a great way to ship them as well.
That's pretty complicated. We found a valid way to ship the oversized cards is would be very.
Oh, you got to use the you use the comic book backer bags.
Okay.
Oh,
What
cool.
we use.
We hadn't thought of that.
I only know
usually
that
wrap them,
because back at in the game center in Wizards of the Coast at U District, I made a whole deck of them, and I used the black backed comic book sleeves. It worked great.
Did you
But you
find
can put the
perfect
backer
sizes?
board in there.
Cool.
Appreciate the tip. Now we can turn some of those on.
Yep.
And someone asked if they could offer both zero and direct customer orders. I'm going to assume that's a yes.
Excuse me?
The next question I'm seeing is, can they choose to offer both zero and direct customer orders?
I don't see any problems with that. The sync, when you sell something, it gets removed from the CrystalCommerce inventory, and so it gets removed from counterpart. And there shouldn't be problems with double sales, even with two syncs active. Because CrystalCommerce is the main database where you have your items stored. So whenever you sell something on one side, it will update on CrystalCommerce and be reflected on the other platform.
I will say that just because of like physics and logic, if there are live inventory, like if you have 12 of something and you have it simultaneously listed on 5 different places for sale, and then something happens like a rush on, like somebody goes and or people open up multiple carts in multiple areas simultaneously in different browsers. Let's just say that it's possible. Yeah, if people are waiting for something, or if there's a race on something, or speculation, etc. That's why we do have oversells, but one thing down the road I think that could be implemented is sort of a reservation engine that is basically like waiting to get confirmation from our end that actually everything has been desynced from other channels and that you are in fact the winner of whatever, your timestamp won the race basically. But that's down the line.
Since it's a rare occurrence, we usually handle those situations manually, and we obviously look at the timestamp and first come, first served, of course, and unsold, sold items that are no longer available will be canceled without any repercussion on the seller, at least on our
I think
side.
that's definitely what people were thinking about. That was my next question. Is
There's
like,
nothing to worry about with double sales. It's something that occasionally will happen, but we handle it. We have it's in our terms of service actually. So it's
so if something were to sell, for example, an erroneous price was synced through, like something that's clearly not the correct price, or something
wrong
that you didn't in
prices.
fact still have, or if there was shrinkage and the product was not available, there's not some kind of there's not harsh measures against the seller for
No,
basically
at all.
conducting business as normal. We obviously
No.
don't want that to become a pattern of behavior where the consumer is affected, but we do understand, of course, this stuff happens all the time.
Oh, it's inevitable. Well, we try to keep it as fair as possible. We always verify whether the sync is actually malfunctioning or not, if something happened or not, to be sure that we're not doing something wrong for either party. And so in case there are sales that are items that sync with the wrong properties, so they are sold for much less, for instance, those are orders which we cancel, and we actually address that problem, that issue in our terms of service, and we reserve the right to cancel orders where the sellers have obviously mispriced or underpriced the items. So it's not something they should
I always
be.
thought there would be a way, just from a protection standpoint, does not even show visually prices that come through that are below a certain percentage of the active market price. Because that's what happens is something comes through and it's it's a $50 card and it's for $5 or something.
Yeah, that is kind of complicated when there are very few items available of a single card, where you have 5 available on the market, and one is €5, one is $5, one is $10, and next is 50. And there is no algorithmic way to determine what the actual price of the item would be. And
Yeah,
so
you'd
if
have to
another
look
card,
at it. Well, we could give you, through the Crystal API, you can pull in our historic completed sales data. So you would basically see the real completed, this is what it actually sold for. So you can do that.
that would be.
And basically say, hey, listen, it's below a certain percentage of these values. We kind of don't think it's legitimate. It's either legitimate for all the wrong, there's no good reason, right? So just putting that out there.
But that would only solve the problem if it was correctly matched. If it's mismatched, you would have
but it has to be correctly matched
value.
in order for sync. If the sync works, you'd be able to reference the right value.
But if it's correctly matched in the first place, you won't have the issue.
Correct.
Because
and we'd love to. Anytime we have the wrong thing synced, we want to learn about it fast.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's top priority.
Sorry. What other questions do we have?
All right. We've got. I think we answered the one about refunding cards. Is there going to be support for non-English Magic and/or Pokemon?
We actually have all languages available on our site, so it's currently implemented on our side. So it will definitely be syncable in the future.
If you have images for that stuff, we could ingest.
Oh, you
it
meant
and create
images?
It.
No, we don't have images at the moment for different languages.
That's just a
We usually
long-term.
keep the main.
Long-term effort. Eventually, we want to start crowdsourcing all the images and be able to
that would be awesome.
make a better customer experience and sell more of these things.
So because Nick, right now the way the foreign cards are handled on our system is it's just a a variant of the normal listing of the card. So when someone adds a quantity to their cards, they add it to a condition and a language. So I don't know if we're currently sending non-English quantities to you, but maybe that's something that we need to talk further about to see how that would work.
Yeah.
I have to check the sync first, how if it works with that. I would need a second
Well, also,
to consult with my.
Paul, it would be, we definitely have the opinion for catalog purposes that if it behaves differently and distinctly in the marketplace, it is a different product. They might be the same functionally in the gameplay, but you know, a foil is a different product than the regular. And if they make a shiny foil and a textured foil and I mean, if they do all these different variations, they behave differently. You buy them differently, sell them differently. If someone receives one and not the other in the mail, the customer cares about that. Like they're distinctly different products. So we don't really want to use the variants to describe it. Variants really are, that matrix is helpful for like choosing when you want to price and quantity something different as a variation of an actual product, like color or size, things like that.
Well,
but not
we actually
necessarily.
have
Go ahead.
all the tags to identify those items. Even if they use the same blueprint, you can specify the language, whether it's first edition or whatever is applicable to the game we're talking about.
So
The conditions.
maybe there's a way, Paul, that we take what, you know, we basically convert like we did before when we separated out foils from Magic and not having them as a variant. And we do that with the foreign items, and we just basically create unique products for the foreign items. And we could even do that via the unique foreign items you already have. So from CardTrader we could ingest that, create unique products, and then give our members the ability to import those products and stop using the variants as the way to inventory their foreign cards. And then it would work with the current sync model. So they would connect to CardTrader and whoever else wanted to connect to them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot we need to consider about that, but that might be a conversation best done at a later date or at a different time. Because we'd have to consider, you know, all the current quantities that people have across our system.
Well, those wouldn't change. Like, we wouldn't force a change. They would just be using a separate inventory SKU that's not connected. And they could depreciate or deprecate using what they're doing now and then move over to the dedicated product.
Okay.
Most of this stuff is actually just sitting in backroom boxes right now and just not inventoried.
Oh, that's kind of bad.
There's a lot of dark inventory sitting around of some obscure stuff just because that's just the nature of it.
All right.
I did have one other question if we had time. Are we going to implement a price adjusting setting within the integration in CrystalCommerce in case we want to increase the price for about 2% before it goes to CardTrader, like we do with TCG?
We are working on that, and it will be available soon.
Awesome.
Very soon.
And I think Aaron Jarvis, I thought I saw your hand raised, but I don't know if you had a question.
Yeah, it was the same thing that they already addressed foreign cards.
Okay.
But I also noticed Funko is available. Can we get that?
Yes.
At some point, there are a ton of units that are exclusive to America that Europe doesn't get. And I specifically send, I don't know, $4,000 a quarter to Poland alone for one customer.
Nice.
So those are pretty big. And I know we need a full Funko catalog anyway.
Funkos will also be linked, but they are at the moment after they're planned after the card games.
They're
And,
probably better than Card Fight Vanguard, to be honest.
probably, but
So,
we have to.
sure.
It's easier to finish Vanguard than it is to finish Funko, simply because the database is so huge. We have to work a lot on the mapping to get that going.
It's about 12,000 SKUs.
Yeah.
It's comparable to
You will-
the others, but it's easier. Funko has the full thing on their application. And Pop Price Guide has everything on their application. It's all there, easily available. On a marketplace,
Could you please
CrystalCommerce,
repeat where?
it's on Pop Price Guide, which is hosted by hobbydb.com. I've already given all this information for a marketplace sync to CrystalCommerce about 2 years ago for this.
I'll check it out. Thank
The
you.
entire database is easy, and it's able to pull their market price data as well. This would help
Okay,
every
I'll forward
retail
this.
customer that sells those with a buy list, with retail pricing to some degree. Obviously, it has its errors like every market price data does. It misses spikes until they happen, but it's there.
Cool. We'll definitely address it.
It'd be
I
wonderful.
don't know the times at the moment, but
understand.
I have to check out how their database is, how we can,
Yeah.
if we can import it directly and link it all to CrystalCommerce, that would be easy.
That would be pretty easy. Awesome.
Yeah, we did have a conversation with them, and it was nice. I just think there was just not any. They were busy with something, and then there wasn't any follow up. So I could reach out to them again.
That would be amazing. And then the foreign Pokemon cards, specifically like the Japanese stuff, is that included because it is functionally different than English Pokemon cards?
We have in our database all the Japanese Pokemon.
Yes,
They are treated as different items.
that is correct. It was more for CrystalCommerce because they need to put that in.
Yeah, that's something that
I know
actually,
everything is on you
um,
guys.
right. That could be sent to us, and we could ingest that. Like that's the conversation I was having with Paul. That if those are sent to us, we could create unique items and then have those be something that is syncable to wherever.
That would be great.
We got Chris from House Rules Gaming.
Yeah, we do have a Japanese Pokemon singles product type and category in our catalog, but it isn't, as far as I know, it's not kept current. I think
It hasn't been updated since like retro stuff, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a start. Thank you
Okay,
guys.
great. Yeah, so if that's something that can be just sent over, we could ingest that. And if there are no image files, that means we don't need to get a corresponding zip of those.
Let's see. I'll go down the questions. The CT0, there is a CT0 warehouse located in the US.
Yep, in Vinton, Iowa. And all shipments from Canada and the US should be sent there. And well, yeah, there at the moment it's just a hub where the items are forwarded to our European warehouse and processed there. But we are working on having an active warehouse where we process the items and make them available directly in the US. That will be next year's big project.
And then, cool, thank you. And the next one is, will there be an update sent out when new product lines such as Yu-Gi-Oh or Digimon will start syncing? So we have the spreadsheet with the ETAs of them, but I think they're wondering like if there will be like a separate like announcement sent out.
The dates we put on the spreadsheets should actually be the dates when they are up and running. So we will I assume CrystalCommerce will warn the users when that is actually functioning.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, that's
we
just part of,
Right.
yeah, we can make, we'll make sure we're in communication with CardTrader, and once we
But
confirm that those are syncing, we can send out a message to everyone.
we'll be actually updating syncs as time goes by. So you'll see the items gradually populating your offer on CardTrader. Where it makes little sense to wait for everything to be ready to sync the cards. You can start selling whatever is ready right away. So you'll just actually start seeing your items in CardTrader as long as they are synced.
I just want to add that we have our priorities on this task, so we expect to be quite fast.
All right, next one. This is also from Nicholas Chan. Says, from a quick look at the site, it doesn't appear that it distinguishes the difference between United States English cards and European English cards. Will that eventually change? For Yu-Gi-Oh customers, it's an important distinction. I think that just applies to Yu-Gi-Oh as far as I know.
I don't think at least MTG, Pokemon don't have anything, don't have any difference. I actually have to look this up. I'm not really sure. I don't
this is the
think
first time
there
I
is.
mean, I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's the first time I knew that.
Yeah, as far as I know, we just add the US English cards to our catalog, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, well, I know a bit, and the difference is just the code. But yeah, for some people, that's an important thing. And at the moment, we don't have that. We eventually can
I
do
don't
it.
think we have that either.
Yeah, as far as I know, like if it's the card number, I think we, for the most part, just have the US English cards in our catalog.
Yeah, you have to consider, and it's pretty funny that there are a lot of sellers that don't even know that there is a difference. So it happened to me to buy from the United States or from Europe, and these guys were, is it really like that? So yeah, but anyway, I think we should do something sooner or later.
You learn
Someone's
something
asking
new every day.
Someone's asking about the spreadsheet. There is a link to it on the article, which I'll link the article and then a direct link to the spreadsheet as well here in the chat.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. If an out-of-country customer that purchased cards using CardTrader 0 does not receive their order, or the delivery of the order is delayed, and the customer is no longer willing to wait for delivery, who is responsible for resolving the issue with the customer?
Oh, that's us. We solve, actually, with CardTrader 0, there is no need for the seller to have to do with the customer. It all goes through us. We provide support on both sides, and we process the refunds. It's just like we were the seller for the purposes of the interaction with the customer.
So for CardTrader 0, the only thing they need to worry about is just sending you guys the cards.
The correct cards, yeah. It's all about posting the cards with the right conditions so that they match the items which must be sold, and sending them once per week. And clicking and sending them also on the website. That is very important. Just like with TCG Players Connect service, the one operation you have to do on CardTrader is to mark the order as sent.
And related to what you just said, is there a more detailed version of your card grading standards for CardTrader?
We're working on that. We're reprocessing all the documentation in order to provide all the possible information that may be required to use our site correctly. So it will be up pretty soon.
So
Well, we have
We
one.
know our guide is,
but yeah,
it's
we
kind
are
of
gonna improve
outdated.
that. I can still
we only
send
showed-
a link.
All right. And let's see. Ryan from Alternate Universes asks, said they're still syncing the same roughly 1,000 Pokemon cards that they were seeing on day one, but no Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh has been syncing since. I want to know if there's a way to force a complete sync on the CardTrader side. I think with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just because you know that
it's not active yet.
it's not active yet. But for the MTG,
That is odd.
yeah, I think that's just something we'll have to touch base with you on.
We'll have to check it. I could actually look at it right away. No magic at all. Weird. I'll forward it to our team and have it check it out.
Thank you. Let's see. It says, when selling through Zero, will there be a faster way to refund any cards missing, like directly through CrystalCommerce? I'm not sure. Does that make sense to you? I'm not sure if I understand.
Looking for the question so I can.
I understand what they mean, but if they're the recipient of the funder, the refund process is going to be internal to them. I guess I'll let Nick address that. But it depends on if it's a CardTrader direct order going in the, or if it's a Zero order, I think.
Oh, so they're okay. So if they have a Zero order, but they're missing any of the cards, how would
well, during the first period, of course, we know there are sync issues, and we'll just you simply don't send the cards. You don't, and we have a repurchase system, and the cards will be repurchased for the lowest price possible in order to satisfy the customer's order. And typically the seller is debited the difference. But during this first period where we're setting things up, of course, we'll cover all the differences, and so sellers have nothing to worry about with debits and penalties or anything. It's the important thing for us now is to get the thing running and actually have CrystalCommerce sellers selling through CardTrader. Everything else is just things we can solve.
Okay. Let's see. Joe Mack is asking if CardTrader calculates the appropriate postage from sending items from country A to country B.
We have tables for all the shipments from every country. Some, of course, aren't really updated, like shipping from Malaysia to Singapore isn't available yet, but all the main countries towards at least all European and North American destinations, it's all pretty well set up, and it's all automatic. So you don't actually have to, you don't need to set up shipping tables. You can if you want to, and have your own customized shipping services into the program, but it's not necessary. That's You
Cool.
can if you want to.
So they've got a few
And of
options.
course, we always update them as soon as we find out that the shipping services has changed their prices, and in case some seller finds themselves with having spent much more or simply more than what was calculated automatically, we just refund the difference and fix the tables, and that's the easiest way to solve the thing.
Right
By
on.
the way, we have Singapore. Just to say,
But Singapore, Malaysia,
no.
yeah, we have
Probably
Singapore
not.
and we have Malaysia,
Okay.
but not between them.
Aaron Jarvis has a hand raised.
Oh, go for it, Aaron.
Yeah, so someone brought up the processing refunds kind of thing. Can we get the all that automated? Like if we send a card in wrong and it needs to be adjusted, will that readjust in our CrystalCommerce sold orders so that we can get our fees automatically refunded instead of having to manually do all that? That takes a lot of time and effort on everyone to readjust any of that. And it should be able to be coded easily. Well, obviously time and effort, but
So are we,
Uh,
I guess to kind of get the context fully, this is not a CardTrader 0 order. This is a regular order.
an
that you need to process.
order in any form from any third party place. When we handle a refund or any adjustments, we have to go do it in our CrystalCommerce and change
Yeah.
the shipped inventory. Can we
Yeah,
get
so we
that
have,
stuff to be automated from one platform to another, so that way we don't have to do it in every place manually? And this would be a great place to start.
it's possible because I can tell you how, I can tell you what we currently do, which you know, because of your authorized.net integration, you can push the refund back or a partial refund back to the
Correct.
credit card. You could also do it if through PayPal because of the PayPal
Correct.
API integration. So these are the examples of what we currently support in terms of processing refunds in a kind of in the flow of day-to-day operations. And like you said, it does save a lot of time. So the answer is we can provide the ability for third parties to do that. I'm not sure if there would be additional API calls on our end. I bet there are, and they would definitely. And I'll leave that to Nick to talk about that.
And then the same thing would go on like a CardTrader 0 order. So it's essentially a TCG direct order that if we send items and they're wrong and they get adjusted, since CardTrader would be handling, inventorying that order and essentially invoicing us, would that be able to get pushed back so we don't have to make those adjustments as well?
And this is the fun part about CardTrader using the Crystal API. Some of that can become part of their roadmap.
Awesome.
I mean, that I just don't want to put words in their mouth. And that's why you guys are here to let them know about what would save time and really optimize your experience.
I'm not quite sure I understood the
So it
actual
would
question.
require
I apologize.
it would require effectively that from the CrystalCommerce system we could effectively connect to the card processing. I mean, you're looking at the and that's why it depends on the funder. It depends on how it was paid. So like there are some challenges. Aaron, do you want to just talk with Nick directly? And you guys see if you can get on the same page.
Yeah, I can do that. Is now fine or later? What do you prefer?
Now it's fine.
Well, we can.
Is there a breakout room that you want for this, or to keep it here?
Oh, I mean, if this is a big thing, maybe this isn't the right time. But I think generally speaking, you were talking about how can we improve operations workflow when you're doing a refund of some kind.
Correct. And this would be directed to CardTrader Zero orders specifically. Since everything is handled
Well,
internally by CardTrader once the item is out of our door.
with CardTrader Zero, you don't actually have to concern yourself with the payments of the customers because it's all, it goes through our secure system. You simply are paid for your order when it is processed by us.
Correct.
So there are
so-
no actual refunds to customers that you need to concern yourself with.
So there
um,
are when we send you a package and we are missing a card or we send the wrong
Yes.
condition, we need, and then you take that package, you inventory it, and you verify that all the items are there, correct?
Exactly.
You make an adjustment to that order saying that this item was not received. We need that sent back to CrystalCommerce and the item removed from the initial order on our CrystalCommerce backend.
Oh, okay, I
We need
got
the
it.
full process done so that we're not manually adjusting those things for fees and everything, because we're paying you a
Gotcha.
fee. And it will come through on CrystalCommerce that we're still paying the fee for an item that was not sold.
Actually, we collect fees for items that are not sold.
Okay, and that's fine.
Unless it's a mistake, of course, because
It's a different type
sellers-
of fee though, because we're paying you for an item that needs to be replaced. This is not a transactional fee that we would pay CrystalCommerce for an item that we have. So we need that adjusted in our accounting on CrystalCommerce from the CardTrader.
Okay.
And since it would
Well,
be
this is-
done in your inventory section, however that looks on your end.
Well, they would have, CardTrader has access through the to adjust that order, I believe.
Correct.
So-
So yeah, so we have to just make sure from this point on that it's
I
auto.
mean, we'd have to make sure we have the API endpoint that would let you, because we have in the interface, you can remove an item and that removes it from the subtotal, which as Aaron is alluding to, it removes it from the billable. You're not being charged for things you didn't actually sell.
Correct. I'm fine paying any CardTrader fees. That's no issue. We're fine paying any fee that we're supposed to pay, but
So all you're saying is that if there's a discrepancy, you want to push the line item removal to an automated step. Is that what you're saying?
correct. 100% correct. And that would obviously be fantastic if that eventually could be done for TCG player, but that's its own can of worms.
Yeah, and we can talk with them about how the API can be used as well. So that they're, but I think that makes sense. Okay, Nick, is that clear? More clear?
Yeah, it's clear now. But it's actually a rather technical question, and I'd like to have some time to see
Yeah,
how,
and it could
how we
be,
can work it out.
Nick, it could be that you're just sending us an action, and then we're using that action to trigger the removal
adjust
of that
your-
item. Yeah, so we'll talk
Yeah, I
about
think
that.
that is possible.
You can talk about that in the Slack channel.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Sure.
All right. Let's get through some more of these. Joe from, I think, Magic Card Trader says he's from the UK, has been advised for CardTrader Zero orders to ship them to Italy. He has a couple questions about that. First, his experience with shipping to Italy is that it's often late. And two, if the Zero customer is in the USA, but he's shipping to Italy, is that a problem?
So shipping to Italy, since the Brexit has actually begun to take much more. And with the COVID quarantine before and after the boundaries, it is indeed late. It takes forever. We are trying to find a different shipping, a different courier to handle these, but we still haven't found a
Nick,
proper solution for this.
I have
No,
some people
we
from
do
DHL
from UK.
International that are
Sorry.
hitting me up.
We do with the FedEx at the moment. We have a few customers that are using FedEx. We do the pickup for them. We have good contracts, so it should be quite smooth.
Would it be helpful, guys, if I introduced you to DHL International?
I think so. We can.
They have a lot of
hit
European
them up and.
operations.
Oh, we know DHL. We've actually worked with them already.
Because they were hitting us up, and I was like, "Hey, if we can do a group negotiation and get get our members some discounted rates that they can all use and not have to individually apply." I hate that. I'm like, "Hey, this is the volume our network does. Give us the good rates, please."
Yeah.
So actually, okay, I'll reply back to them because I kind of didn't reply back to their last email, and see if that would be helpful, because I know they're talking about like aggregating and bundling US based shipments and going overseas because they have their own planes and stuff.
That could be a good way to make things much faster and smoother.
All right, I'll ask.
Not that there are any.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
Cool,
it's fine. We
thanks.
have pretty good contract, by the way, with carriers. We use a lot of them.
Do you want to send me? Actually, could you send me that data, or send me whatever you
Yeah,
can?
yeah, sure, yeah. I can.
Okay,
I can
and
send
then
you
I'll
whatever you
use
want.
that to sort of like we can start negotiating with DHL.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We have pretty good prices, and by the way, this is a spoiler I'm gonna do, that we are gonna do the pickup for every CardTrader Zero seller very soon. Here in Europe, it will be effective in months, maybe before the mid of the next year. So there will be no hassles for sellers. They just have to stick a thing on their package, and we do all the rest. So there are no responsibilities. Everything is gonna be handled fast. So it's gonna be better for everyone. And we'll do that for the United States as well later. So anyway,
That would be
if you're from
interesting.
the UK,
Are you talking about
Max,
printing postage for people? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
That's cool. We have an
gonna
Indicia/stamps.com integration presently that does USPS postage printing.
Yeah. By the way, if you are from the UK, please give me your number, and our account manager will contact you, and he'll find the solution for you. Since we are already doing it, it won't be a problem. So we can do the pickup. Even if it's not automated, we can do it now.
Okay, hopefully Joe got that. Get in contact with you, Mike.
I'm gonna write him in case.
All right. Let's see, I'll keep moving on. We have a few more here. Says another CrystalCommerce member mentioned that he talked to a CardTrader representative about the potential issue of zero sales being less than the shipping cost. He said that they offer to reimburse the shipment cost. How do you define at what point you will reimburse the shipping cost?
Well, I can
sorry.
speak if you want, Nick, just go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's sure. We're talking about thresholds, basically.
Yeah, at the moment we don't really have a threshold, because here everyone is just selling a good amount of cards. So of course this is not required, and we honestly expect that will be like that for every one of you. But since now the integration is 80% with Magic and other cards are missing and so on, we can cover that. It's not a problem. Let's say that if orders are small, and honestly we don't have a threshold now, but we can say like 50, something like that, 100 weekly, which is of course small, we can just cover it. It's not a problem. I already saw people selling for several hundreds a day. So, well, if you want, guys, we can make some kind of threshold and give it to you. But honestly, you won't ever have problem with us. We like to take care about our customers, our sellers, especially, of course. So don't worry. you'll be
Hey,
fine.
that was me that brought up that question. I had emailed, this is Scott Church with Category 1 Games. I had emailed Arthur and spoken with him and said, you know, we had 8 orders for something like $8 total, you know, and after, you know, if that's our weekly sell-through rate is around $8 and it costs, you know, $3 to $4 to ship,
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, that really doesn't
Of
make
course.
it worth it for us to go through with that on a weekly basis, you know, as really dealing with that as the shipping's so expensive. And he said, well, if the shipping's not too much, or, you know, if it's not really worth it, just send me the invoice like once a month of what the shipping was and we'll refund you for that. And so
Right.
that's where that came from.
Yeah, it's
$8
fine.
is definitely within the threshold. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was more like, what's that threshold going to be? And I think that's what most of us were wondering, because then one of the members commented and said, you know, I sent in $40 worth, and I still don't think that's worth it for me to have to pay the shipping on $40. So everybody's threshold point is going to be a little different.
Yeah, it's probably going to be about between 50 and 100. We have to see where the proper cutoff will be, but it's anything below 50
Yeah.
will be eligible.
I mean, guys, charging you at this point when the integration is not 100%, the inventory is not 100%, makes no sense. So we are fine with taking the loss. We'll just cover you if you are not selling enough. So don't worry. I mean, it could be even personal. You can speak with us. It's not a problem. We just want you to be enrolled in the system, try it, see that it's super cool. Maybe try it as buyer as well, because really it's quite cool. You'll see.
Thank you for responding.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Okay. Hopefully this is a quick one here. Does CardTrader shipping labels work with Dymo label printers? Notice the sizes were metric and they use a 6" by 9" roll with a Dymo label printer.
Well, they should be customizable. There are several dimensions here and you can put your custom, but if yours is not covered, sorry, we can just add it. It should be already possible, honestly, but I didn't check. And this is not the one I usually use, so I don't know, but don't worry.
Yeah, I know 6 by 9 labels are pretty common on our system as far as I
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
It kind of rings a bell, and I'm pretty sure the answer is yes, actually. But I'd have to try it out.
Yeah, I think it's already possible. I mean, it's the standard even here, so should be fine.
Okay. All right. Are they able to manually list items on CardTrader using the syncing app?
As in list them only on CardTrader and not on other platforms?
Yeah, so as opposed to like if they maybe have like a unique item that isn't in their CrystalCommerce inventory, could they like manually add it to the same CardTrader account that is syncing with CrystalCommerce? It's like a custom item, I'm guessing.
I had understood the question differently, but no, at the moment we do not have a customizable blueprints. You cannot add custom items.
Maybe custom item was the wrong word. So like in this example, let's say they have a Japanese base set Charizard for Pokemon, but they don't have that. Either they don't have it listed in CrystalCommerce inventory or it isn't syncing. Would they be able to add it manually on their CardTrader account?
This is actually not possible directly because whenever the sync occurs after they added the card, it will reset their inventory to match CrystalCommerce, and so any items they added will be removed. So anything should have to go through the sync. It may be possible in the future because we could have some sort of reserve stock on CardTrader where it's in addition to the synced stock but it's something we still have to define and
Yeah, I mean, it's
and
probably
work
better to
on.
have the effort work on just syncing all the items together than to have to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually more of the point of the integration. If it's a single card or a few cards, you can actually add them manually, or you can add them to a spreadsheet and import it every day, which it was my original idea of how to handle the extra items, have them copied to a CSV, and then re-import them automatically at the end of the sync. But that's something that we'll see in the future. It's not short term.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. This says, so if there's only one card in an order and it sells for 82 cents, the seller would lose money sending only that one card.
We refund the shipping cost for that one card.
Okay.
Easy question.
All right.
It's important that they send it right away. We had occasions where we tried to have orders bundled over a couple of weeks, but it would just make things slower, and it was not worth it. We'd rather just pay the shipping cost and keep things moving.
Mhm. And let's see, I think I skipped one here. It says the shipment is done weekly with CardTrader 0. So if there are cards missing in the orders, does this mean they'll have to wait at least a week for them to know there are missing cards? Could we not
No.
refund them directly as soon as we make their orders in our shop?
So when a card is missing, when your CT0 order closes and you prepare your order, you'll obviously notice that these items are not available, and you should mark them as not sent from the order sheet before confirming that you have shipped the order. This way, the items will be automatically and immediately repurchased from other sellers.
Okay, so that's something they'll need to do in their CardTrader 0.
Yes, that is a part of the only action that they must perform on CardTrader for their CardTrader 0 orders.
Okay. Let's see. It looks like the Toy Trove is asking, while he's here, if they could disable CardTrader 0 for them.
Absolutely. Toy Trove, just a second.
Yeah, can I just ask you why you want to be removed from CardTrader 0?
Yeah, I think that's a good question.
Yeah, for example, I myself am a seller and I sell only through CardTrader 0 because it's just too convenient.
Me too.
I mean, of course, if I was a bigger shop, I would have filled direct orders as well, but
The time it takes to prepare CardTrader 0 orders compared to regular orders is not comparable. Plus, it's so easy. I just
yeah, and
gather my cards once a
and-
week and
and dealing with customers as well. I mean, if
Mm.
you are just missing 50 cents cards or stuff like that, you have to write to all these guys. I mean, of course, it's our work, but I just want to know, if possible, why you don't want to sell with CardTrader 0.
I think one reason, at least from what I'm seeing, that's a little different is when orders come in through our admin, we have each individual order there. And so we print it out. So each CardTrader order is coming in on its own order form. We print those, we have our employees pull them, and then it's sitting. And then I don't know if we're supposed to print out another invoice from CardTrader itself, or if we just send in our regular admin invoices. And that's what I did this last time because I didn't know any different. But, you know, from what we're seeing, it's like we have to print out each order. And if it's just one card, we're printing a page for a card that's 20 cents. And then we're having the time for an employee to pull just a 20-cent card. Whereas if CrystalCommerce was getting all of our CardTrader orders and then giving us one invoice from it for the week, it'd be easier. I also get that's an integration between two different systems, and this is all new for us. I think we're kind of learning it, but that's definitely something I see right off the bat.
So I'm wondering
Well,
if maybe
actually,
the intended workflow is for CardTrader orders that come into CrystalCommerce to just mark them as shipped and then handle the actual shipping of the cards from them on the CardTrader end. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, you can do it daily or once the order closes, so once a week. So you don't need to pick the cards immediately. You can just do nothing and do it the day after or once a day, or like I said, at the end of the week. I don't know, you can just mark the order as shipped on CrystalCommerce, I guess, and then mark the bigger order as shipped on CardTrader eventually.
So you basically ignore all the small orders you receive and only process the compound order.
We have some batch actions that could move to different statuses. So you could select CardTrader orders and batch them, and that would save time as well.
Yeah, you could do a customer name search because all the CardTrader 0 orders are going to come in with the same customer name. So you could isolate all the orders that way and group select them all and then batch move them so they're kind of out of the way, if that's an issue.
I think for most of us, we like being just in one admin. Like I never go to eBay's side to look at my eBay orders anymore. I do everything from, CrystalCommerce side. Same with TCG Player. I never go to their admin. So I think it's us getting used to now having to integrate more and looking at a different admin that we're not as familiar with and kind of learning that process. And that, at least for me, this first week, this has been a learning curve to kind of see what it's like.
Well, that's also the purpose of this meeting, is that we know that's the expectation, is that you're, the command center of your business, you want the data flowing into it and you want the actions, one click away from, the result that you want. So it's important that we're surfacing this because it can go into the roadmap of how CardTrader connects into orders that are from CardTrader. Like what tools can we connect in that give you the ability to keep it streamlined. But yeah, I do appreciate that it is a learning curve for everybody. But we do want to keep it's not just about adding more items, but it's really about, optimizing the workflow so that you don't have to be jumping from system to system.
Let's see, it says there are 7 conditions of cards on, there are 7 conditions on CardTrader. However, at least on my dashboard, there are only 5 condition variants. Would that cause issues when translating to CardTrader? So I think they're maybe saying like in CrystalCommerce, we typically have 5 conditions for singles, like near mint, light play, moderate play, heavy play, and damaged. And how would those translate to CardTrader? Or would there be an issue with those?
Well, we're gonna map all these to the appropriate conditions. So I wouldn't say there is any sort of issue. It's just, well, the first 3 are actually the same. So it would be from the heavy play, our worst cards. And we were actually considering removing one of those from CardTrader in the first place. Any
Well, we
ideas,
just
Mike?
have one more in the end. We just have, you have played, sorry, or he played, you said?
Heavy.
Heavy.
We don't have
Okay,
played.
so probably you just won't see the played condition, and the pool is, our pool is CrystalCommerce damaged, so just one condition less because we have 6 total. You have 5, and 1 we just don't use it, and you know that the damage is the pool, so it won't be an hassle in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, if it's those lower conditions, it doesn't seem like that would.
Yeah, also we were, as Nick said, we'd like to take away the plate and just leave the heavy plate, and at that point it will be just the same. And this thing is gonna happen quite soon, I think.
All right. Joe's asking, can I choose not to sync my inventory and only add items manually? I would assume
Oh.
with the integration that kind of defeats the whole purpose of it. I think, I don't know. You guys have.
It does absolutely, but it's also absolutely possible.
Okay.
I mean,
I mean,
what's the
it would
reason
be
behind
just
that?
like it would just like be creating a new account and using that without any sync or anything.
Let's see. Leonard asks, what is CardTrader and what is the relation to CrystalCommerce? Kind of a pretty open-ended question.
Okay.
They took me out for pizza in Italy when I was over in Lucca, and I was, I thought these guys are pretty cool, and they're also programming in the same language that we code in, so they're even potentially able to do things that other integrations just can't. But go ahead and you tell them more about what's up.
Yeah, okay, so I can briefly explain what is CardTrader. So a really quick explanation. So it's a marketplace, it's worldwide, and it's multi-currency, and it has everything, and it will have everything. And hopefully, with the help of CrystalCommerce, we will support other lines that we don't have at the moment, but we want to put just everything. The project was born a few years ago. You know that here we have competitors, but I think we are much better than them, even if we started much later, which is the main downside at the moment. And we met then, and we thought that having integration with the inventory management were the thing to do. So we worked on this direction and we just did it. So now we are growing together. Hopefully we will bring new sales to you guys, to CrystalCommerce, to ourselves, and develop the market in the best way possible.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, we should do the next question.
Hopefully I'm not skipping any. I'm trying to keep track of everything here.
Also, we've had some late arrivals, and so just welcome Adam. If you have any, if everybody's looking for the recording, we'll definitely have this available.
Yeah. It says, where in the CardTrader admin do I see the percentage they keep from the orders that have been sent in? My accounting shows all fees associated with each order, so I need to see how much each order's fees would be.
You can see that in the wallet area. And we have a report, a CSV report you can download. It's in your profile, in which you will see everything. So it's just easy. You can just go on profile report, and then you can download whatever you need. Or if you need some kind of quick information, you can look at your wallet and you'll see the transaction and the related and associated fees.
Okay. And this is it possible to sync only a few select single sets to CardTrader, or will they have to sync their entire inventory? So they're wondering if they can like kind of pick and choose categories to sync over.
That is not possible that I know of. Just a second. No, it's either everything or nothing.
Okay, that was my understanding as well. Let's see. Do you have a system in place that recognizes buyers that file complaints for items not received often? that are not fulfilled from CardTrader 0. Because as sellers, even if we do not have to refund the buyer because they chose to order through direct order, often sellers do in order to keep their customer and platform happy, but there's often abuse in every platform. Is there a system that would
No.
remove the abuse of buyers?
Well, guys, you don't
On
have to
CardTrader
worry.
0, this is not an issue. It's
No,
not.
it's
It's a
not an
non-problem.
issue. It's not a problem, even if you're making direct orders, because we are an escrow system. So we get all the money and then we give money to our customers, to buyers and sellers. So even if someone makes a complaint, it does against us, and we take care about that, and the seller doesn't even know that it happened.
Yes,
So
for
you just don't have to worry about that.
For CrystalCommerce kind of professional retailers, this is solves a pretty significant problem, which is how trustworthy are the sales going to Europe. So it can reduce your risk in terms of giving you a sales channel that's not going to have a chargeback.
Yeah, there are no chargeback or any kind of complaints or payments on credit card or stuff like that for sellers. So you won't even know this is an issue on CardTrader.
One thing that just came to my mind, and this would help us a lot, because we have an internal sort of fraud crowdsourcing where each of our members, if they're having an issue and they think it's legitimate, they can publish basically a shared fraud report within their admin that is networked to show, it'll flag, based off of address, IP, all kinds of different things. But the idea is that we want to show that this address or this individual buying from someone else has already been flagged by another one of our vigilant members that probably got defrauded and is trying to make sure that no one else will ship to these people. So if you guys send us, I'll have to figure out what format we need that in, or maybe actually just based on what you could send us, we could import that and augment our fraud system with people, like stuff that you already know is your do not ship to list. We could totally add that into our own, and then that would improve the fraud detection that our members are getting right now.
Yeah, it won't be a problem.
I think that's a good idea.
This is gonna help the community, so of course it's a yes.
Okay, let's see. The only other one I'm seeing here, Aaron's asking, can they expect marketplace pricing data in their admin panel on CSV exports? I think that's mainly geared toward us. I'm not sure if and when we'd be able to have that feature. I believe there should be a ticket for it, but I mean, obviously hasn't been something we've worked on yet. I'd have to kind of check with our engineering team on that, I think.
Sorry, I missed the what's the ask?
Asking if the marketplace pricing data could be included in exports, CSV exports.
You know, guys, that we have those API for our marketplace. So if you want, we can share those data. There is a specific API to do that. So in case, you can have our data.
Oh, from the pricing side of things?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. We could potentially display that. We're doing that right now by augmenting our like the completed sales data that we're showing for our market prices with the TCG player data that has the kind of offer prices. So we could definitely add more data back, and that's why you can communicate back to us through the Crystal API with the product ID. So that's possible.
Let's see. Do you plan on adding auto pricing to other card games? I understand there are also timelines for adding card games that are not currently synced over. Currently, only Pokemon is synced over from my store.
Oh, well, sorry, this problem that there was another seller that was only shown a few Pokemon, but not Magic cards. This is happening because on CrystalCommerce, you can customize set names and other stuff. And this way they are not automatically matched, and we need to fix these things manually. We do that, and we can do that, but it'll take a bit because we need to adapt to your system. So if everything is made as, like, we can say as a standard, it works. But if there are some customization on sets and things like that, we need, of course, to do the matching. So this is why some
And
of you have
we could help.
your
We
inventory
could
isn't
help,
showing.
Mike, by not doing a name match, but doing, like, we could probably do the CrystalCommerce category ID match, or the.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's possible. This is gonna fix probably the problem.
The issue is mainly because due to the fact that we, for example, we call it Ikoria layer of behemoths, whereas on CrystalCommerce, actually on the customized set of the specific customer, it's, for example, Ikoria layer of behemoths IKO, which is the set.
The set code, yeah.
The set code. So the system cannot match it automatically, and we have to let the system know that those are the same set, and it should import everything.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about the categories being the custom naming being an issue. Let's see, are there options for how they can get paid, either currency or payment service? They're asking from Canada.
Yeah, we pay any currency. I mean, bigger ones, of course, we don't pay with strange money. But yes, what we do now is paying via wire transfer, even on Canada. And for some Canadian, we also use that e-transfer mode, which is faster and probably better. You can just ask, and it's not a problem. You can do that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I would assume they'd want to be paid in CAD.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh yeah, that's not an issue.
Okay. Ryan from Alternate U again. He says he's packaging the CardTrader 0 shipment right now, but don't see the finish, i.e. non-hollow, hollow, reverse hollow, etc. For each card on the CardTrader side. It did come through on the CrystalCommerce pull sheet. And right now the shipment's small enough where it's not an issue, but they think it could be an issue as the order sizes scale up.
We'll definitely look into this. It seems odd that you don't see the finish. We have it coded, so there's a little icon for hollow, reverse hollow. That could be something that was missed, perhaps. I'll give an example. If no, I don't have an open order at the moment. Oh, I can show. No, this isn't. No, unfortunately, I don't have an order where all these characteristics are available at the moment to share. I'll have to look it up, but I think it's just a question of getting accustomed to the symbols we use to represent these hollow, reverse hollow, and other properties such as first edition.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that if the card has only one finish, that finish is not shown. So
yes, that happens.
This is a thing I want to change, and so it's on our side. It will be done quite soon.
Okay, and this is the last one for now, unless we get more coming in. But Joe from Magic CardTrader asks about tax collection. Didn't really expand on that, but I'm assuming like if you guys like handle like collecting of taxes for orders.
Yeah, At the moment, orders are made almost all from Europe. So of course there is not sales tax on that, but we handle everything. So that's it.
Okay. Let's see, if we get a sale via CardTrader 0 that we cannot fulfill due to shrink or missing cards, how do we notify you and cancel the order?
You wouldn't
That would just-
actually cancel the order. You would just ship it, marking all items as missing.
Okay. Yeah, that's all
That would-
handled on the CardTrader side. So
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I mean, you do one order and you're fine with that. You see everything is written, so you shouldn't have a problem. It explains you everything.
Our guide is pretty thorough, so you should be able to figure out everything with just that. And support is always available anyway, so we'll help you with anything you need.
cool. Yeah. I mean, my impression from talking with you guys is just that like you're very willing to help, and a lot of the stuff is just kind of handled in your system, and if it's not, then your support is very helpful getting it figured out.
Yeah, we also made a lot of customized things for our users. So let's say that if someone needs something to be done in a way, and they say, okay, this is how I need the package to be done when I make orders. We made a lot of customized things. So just ask if you have any problems or you want something to do.
Okay. Do you plan on getting a location in Canada for CardTrader 0 orders?
Eventually, yes.
Okay. And see, Aaron's asking, would CrystalCommerce be able to generate a pull sheet for us from TCG/CardTrader and make it easier to pull in our format? Aaron, you should be able to do that. Like, I think if you just filter out the orders on the orders page, then you could print a pull sheet for just those orders.
Right, but it's a workflow issue. We can't put them in pre-order because that screws up pre-orders. If we mark everything as shipped, then they're in shipped. So then I have to go move them back. And then the timestamp. Sometimes with TCG Player, they are going to be on the next RI. And the same issue I expect to be here. They don't count in the queue for what's going in and out. So that is generated on each platform. If we can get that pulled and printed when it's ready, like a master order that doesn't affect the inventory, or a holding zone for these items, that would then mark them as shipped when we mark that item as shipped on CardTrader and on TCG Player. The workflow is really important on all of these things, and pulling from our CrystalCommerce inventory tree is more important than filling an order. Pulling an order from the platform that wants it. We can put it in order after we get it, but pulling it is harder.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you could, because on the orders page, you can use like our search filters to isolate just like the 0 orders or like TCG Player direct orders. And then you can print a pull sheet of just those orders. That is
correct. I can, but it is archaic. There is a specific TCG Player RI and there is a specific CardTrader order. If we can group those into a specific holding shipping zone, just like you have pre-order, processing, pending, that would solve this problem for everybody in one place.
Okay.
I did just ping one engineer to see if they're able to join. Just because.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry, that one's also complex.
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking my language, and you know that. Just we want to, and actually, yeah, Wen's able to join, so we're gonna have we'll have
Awesome.
we will have Wen join us, and she'll be able to give a little bit more information. And then also, I think we had Albert join. So hi, Albert.
Double them up.
Yeah, this is fun. I appreciate everybody's time today joining the call. I look forward to doing more of these, and just so I think it's just good to sync up and hear people's voices and talk about how we can work together in ways that just improve landed profits. How about that? Like profits that hit your bank account. Like, how do we improve your operations so that that's less of a nightmare, and have more actual money accrue in your possession?
Yeah, this is one of those.
Yeah.
This specifically is a bigger issue with training new employees as well. Like, if anyone has turnover, they have to teach a new person how to do CardTrader orders with this special search engine and stuff. As opposed to, it should just be in a place for us to fulfill simply and easily.
Yeah, those edge cases have to get that's the goal, and that's the idea that you're saying is, if you can polish the edges as you're moving forward, the next person that joins or what has to learn it, the learning curve is actually manageable, versus being like, oh, we have all this insider, like, shared, like, secret knowledge about how this stuff actually works.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem with our whole industry is that it's all about insider experience and knowledge, that if you don't have it on how to use CrystalCommerce, on how to use CCG Player, these people just get thrown in and you're going to do shipping, and then they don't know what they're doing.
It's actually rather specific to the products we are creating, because selling cards requires quite a lot of information.
It does.
In the first place, it's not something you just decide you start selling cards and buy a bunch of cards and sell them.
No, that's correct. But in a hiring process, I can't expect everyone in the world to have that knowledge. And it's better for us
and when you find
hire from any pool versus a specialized pool that reduces theft, that reduces conflict of interest.
Yep, it does. Yep, and exactly. So I mean, that's where we were. I mean, my goal. You're speaking right now to my goal, and the goal of our user experience designers, which is we're trying to bake the business intelligence into the user interface, so that the what to do and how much to do it is more intuitive.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's where we're all here.
Yep. And we had a couple of good, just as I think Wen is just a second, sorry. Wen, are you on the Zoom call?
I didn't see her join. But I don't know if this is it's something we should wait for her, or maybe we can set something up.
Yeah. I was just
later with Aaron and Wen.
on
We can
text.
easily move on and circle back, or we can talk about this outside of this, because it's
Yeah, that might be good.
more your end than their end.
Yeah, that's no problem. Are there any other topics that we've brought up that are still worth discussing, or are things pretty much well discussed at this point?
Let's say I see one more question here. Maybe this it says, I believe CardTrader bought trade cards online in 2019, a site that used to be a place for out-of-print collectible card games. Is there any chance of bringing some of those out-of-print collectible card games to CardTrader?
We didn't do that.
Okay.
So I didn't even know it was something. Well, honestly, our target is to put everything, but we of course need to focus on those that sell the most. So maybe with time we'll add even those out of print CCGs, but not now because we have other priorities at the moment. But let's say that in 2023, it's possible.
Ooh.
Yeah, those the out of print card games are in the catalog, and yeah, we'll definitely be figuring out ways to find buyers because those communities do exist, and there's
Let's just give them a place to buy and sell the cards.
Yeah. Cool. I think that covered everything. We went over a lot today. So
Oh, by the way, I pasted on the chat our Discord channel and our phone number. So if you want to reach us.
awesome.
sounds good.
Let's give everyone a chance to get that.
I'll add our email too, so in case you need to contact us.
Okay, yeah. If you have any other question, guys, we are here, but you can just write to us whenever you want. So don't worry if you miss something now, we will just answer you later. So I guess this is a no.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for the great questions. Especially thanks to Mike and Nick for answering everything and helping us out. Really appreciate it.
Whenever.
Bye-bye, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.